Welcome back to The Curious Yapper. I'm Madison, your host and favorite yapper. And on this channel, we talk about real life and living outside your comfort zone. And to be fully transparent, I did not do much to live outside my comfort zone this week, and feeling a little bit in a dip mentally. So we'll talk through some of that. But the week's recap: on Monday after work, I did prioritize myself and I went to the lake to paddle, and that was great. I had just gotten a book off of Libby, so my favorite thing is to go paddle, sit in the middle of the lake on my paddleboard and just read digitally. And so I got a book just in time, so it was a fun afternoon, evening for myself. And I really enjoy doing that because it is a physical representation of putting myself first. So that was Monday, and then the next day I had plans to go with a friend to go to my favorite ice cream spot, and it was her first time, so that was really fun to share my joy of this ice cream shop and have her try all the fun flavors, and got to do it with her. And then we walked a little bit around the area, and that was really nice. Then I got home and did some more reading of my books. That reading was a physical book, which is the third book in this series, Rose Hill by Elsie Silver. And that series was actually my introduction into reading fiction books, and that was last October, our fall trip. And so I have been reading that third book, and she has a fourth one of the series coming out, so I'll be excited to read that too. And then on Wednesday, this might be a little bit of the slump mentally, not entirely, but at work I received feedback, and it's good to receive feedback, and feedback is a gift. I just don't know if I agree with the feedback and I need to process how I want to show up at work and who I want to be, because essentially the feedback was that now in a leadership role, I need to be really conscientious of how I'm showing up in meetings and just my brand and how I want to be perceived now in a leadership role. And I get that, hear that, and I see how the feedback is applicable. I just don't know how to reconcile being authentically myself and then masking in a leadership way. So I will be taking that to therapy this week. I don't know how I want to balance that, because one of the things I pride myself in is being authentic, and authentic to myself. I know that word can be overused. Authentic to myself. And I just don't know how I want to show up and proceed with that feedback. So anyways, that was Wednesday. I'm actually in a better headspace because feedback in general is something I've definitely struggled with, because I feel like it's an attack of me, but it's not. It is just observations and information someone else has, and I'm glad and grateful that people will give me the feedback, because I would have no idea if people never shared. So that's other people's job, is to share the feedback, and me receiving it, I just need to process and figure out how I want to apply the feedback. So anyways, so that was Wednesday at work, and then got home and some more reading time, got to read more of that third book of the series. And then Thursday after work, I chatted with my Kylie girl, and so that was fun. On the way back from work, we got to chit chat, catch up about work, catch up about life. And it's really funny because both of us, we will ask the other person, how are you doing in this realm? And then we'll talk a little bit, and then it doesn't always end on like a positive note. And then we're like, yeah, so what about you? And we try to change the topic really quick, and we both call each other out when we do that. So it's just really funny. And that was I enjoyed that conversation for sure. And then right after that, a former student wanted to FaceTime me, and got to hear a little bit about their adventure so far. And they were talking about real life, how you go from friendships in high school and then college, and how things change. And that's not always, doesn't feel good. And so just got to hear a little glimpse of that. And I understand. I feel those feels. And it was a really brief conversation, so we'll probably catch up another time. Then another former student texted me a photo of their dorm, and it was just so delightful and fun to have relationships that last through the years. And so that was really special. And then after that, this was like a whole day of catching up with people, because after that, then my sister FaceTimed me, or I FaceTimed her, don't remember, but FaceTime, got to catch up, and so wild to see my niece just growing and processing. And yeah, she was so funny. Lots of different, she'll play with her random toys, then she'll like one for a little bit and then change to the next one and then get the zoomies and run around. And so it was just fun to catch up with them. And then I don't remember what happened that evening. Then Friday, so it's this Labor Day weekend, and Evan and I had these great plans of what we were gonna do, and then work schedules changed, and so plans were changing, and then we thought we had a new idea of our plans, and then there was no accommodations for where we wanted to go because we were trying to get closer to national parks. And turns out other people also for the long weekends want to go to national parks. So weird, right? So there was just not accommodations for us to go do that. So we changed plans on Friday, and then I was just watching some trashy TV while Evan still had to work, got us some Taco Bell, read some more, and then that's really it for Friday. And then Saturday, we woke up and then decided, let's go to Seattle, because there were some shoes that I wanted to purchase. So, and they don't have it around here, and I didn't know my size. And hilariously, I had started putting shoes in a cart online, and I had $2,000 worth of shoes in my cart. And that was something I mentioned to Kylie. I was like, I should just do it, right? Just do it, girl. And then Kylie was like, yeah, girl, you just gotta sometimes. And anyways, I didn't actually press go on the $2,000 worth of shoes. Evan was grateful. But so we went to Seattle so that I could try on the shoes, so that I wasn't ordering a bunch of pairs and returning them. So headed to Seattle on Saturday. We got breakfast at a place called Biscuit Bitch, and it was yummy. Evan's rating was, the biscuit was 10 out of 10, but there was one that we got with a biscuit. It had gravy, cheese, and bacon bits, and that he thinks his gravy's better, which I gotta give it to him. So it was still good though, and fun to try something new in Seattle. And then after that, we went shoe shopping, and honestly, the saleswoman, or whatever we want to call her, she was not that great. I was like, I would like this shoe, I would like this shoe, I would like it in this size, and then like, please bring it to me. And then I had to keep going up to her for the next shoe. Like, she brought them out, why don't you just put them by me? And then Evan's like, maybe that's what they do for inventory control. And I was like, whatever. So ended up finding a pair of shoes, yay. And now I know my shoe size for other ones if I want to order online, which I will in the future. And then after that, we were in an area where there was just shopping anyways. So we went and walked around furniture places, and there's just not really great furniture quality. We went to Room and Board, and then we also went to Crate and Barrel, and like, stuff is so expensive for what? It feels like fake manufactured wood. It doesn't feel real, and you're still spending like $800 for a bookcase and $1,500, $3,000 for a dresser, and it's not even quality. Like, if it was quality, maybe, you know, I could convince myself. I am the daughter of an interior designer, so I do understand that you pay for quality, and I would like to pay for quality, but it doesn't seem like anything is quality, so that's a bummer. So we were just walking around and judging. We do want to get a bookshelf for our plants we're trying to keep alive. Right now they're on 2 surfaces that are honestly full, and they need to be on a bookshelf. So we were kind of looking for that, and just nothing is fitting our criteria. So we did some furniture browsing. Then after that, we're like, well, we're in Seattle, let's go to Pike Place. So we went to Pike Place, walked around at the shops, saw them throw the fish at, oh gosh, I just forgot what it's called. The fish place. and I don't remember what it's called. The book Fish, the leadership book, is based off of this fish. This is awkward. Anyways, we got to see them throw the fish, and then we also saw a lady in the audience get to throw a fish, and everyone was excited for her. And then there were so many bouquets, and they were $15, $20, $30. I was like, these are huge. So you know me as the flower girl. I was like, I'm here for this. So we walked and browsed around, and then on our way out, picked up my flowers, chose to go with a fall scheme. And then on our way back home, we also stopped and got pizza at one of our places around here. And then we started the Hurricane Katrina documentary. Whoa. Terrible stuff went down. I was a kid in elementary school, and I remember one of my classmates came to our school after Katrina, and you know, as a kid, they were passing around donations, and I was like, oh, I'll give this money from my allowance and that kind of stuff. But whoa, had no idea. And I know that that comes from a place of privilege to not have any idea. But if you have Netflix, you should watch the documentary. It'll make you very angry on behalf of entire communities that were just not helped in any way and left to die. So that was a Katrina documentary. We have one more episode to go, but that's just mind-blowing. And just the way that government didn't do a damn thing. Just terrible. Anyways, learned some stuff. Then yesterday was Sunday, slow morning, made some breakfast burritos for us, so that was fun. I ran to the store to get my avocado so that I could have it in my burrito. And then I made the breakfast, cleaned up the kitchen. It takes so much out of me to cook, but I did it and I cleaned, so yay. And then I finished that book, the Wild Side book, the third one in the Rose Hill series. So that was fun. The writing of the series just makes me laugh, and it's just, I enjoy her writing. And then I got a book that I was on hold for, came available, started reading that, and I didn't like it. And this is the first one that I just like, no, I'm not going to force myself to read this book. So I think maybe I got 30 pages in or something like that, and I was like, I don't want to read this. So I didn't. I returned it, and then I got another book, and it's a lighter, more digestible book. So I did that, and then Evan and I yesterday went to the Mount St. Helens Visitor Center, and that was also pretty cool to see it well done. All of the documentation, the different videos, how the communities were affected, and so that was cool to see the visitor center there. Then we got back home and started planning and scheming how we want to spend our September, which we're in September. How did that happen? So we're gonna go on a weekend trip this weekend, and we booked accommodations for that. And then I've also been, my ankle has not been 100%, and that's annoying as someone who actually finds joy in moving my body, especially in walks and hiking, and I just haven't had the freedom to move fully. Anyways, so because of that, I was like, I'm not gonna go on a walk, but I needed to move my body in some way, so I did some random workout, and then I attempted a yoga video after that, and yoga be hard. It was like beginner video, and I'm like, this doesn't feel very beginner, and then I don't have a mat, and then my knee was hurting, and I was like, this is not fun, so I just stopped that too. So hey, I guess you don't have to do things that don't feel good, so stop that, and then chill evening, went to bed. Then today, slept in, decorated for fall, you guys. September 1st, the fall bins come out. So the living room has pumpkins, and so that was fun. Put up my fall wreath outside, my fall door welcome mat, so that was a good time. After that, Evan and I started scheming of when I get work from home soon, next month, and how it's gonna fit, and it was not gonna fit with my vision and what I thought. And so then we started rearranging furniture that we weren't expecting, and we ended up moving some things around. Now Evan has a whole little space with his desk and his piano, and now our bedroom, there's a chair in there now, so it looks even better, so that's positive. Our guest room is changing, and that's okay, even though I loved how it was prior, and I'm a little disappointed that it's not the same. The truth is, guests visit not as frequently as we have to live our day-to-day in our home, and so that's okay. It has to be functional for us, and so that's what we did. After that, then I did some more reading, then I napped some, then Evan and I went on a walk, and then after I was trying that yoga thing yesterday, I found a video of this lady I follow on TikTok, and so I was like, oh, I'm gonna try that. So it was some neck opening, shoulder releasing yoga thing, and I was like, okay. It did actually change my range of neck motion during the session, so did something. And then now just trying to get ready for the week, and Evan and I are trying to figure out dinner, and it feels like a struggle. I don't know if anyone else is on that same boat. I see fun recipes on TikTok that I save, and I don't do a dang thing with it. Feels like a lot of effort to keep us alive and fed. So I don't know about you guys, but I didn't 100% want to do this episode because there wasn't like a whole lot to talk about and share, but I think the point of this is that we all go through ups and downs, and I'm just a normal human trying my best to navigate it all, and so I'm just sharing. So I don't know that I have things planned for outside of my comfort zone this week, but I do have plans to have time with my community that I'm building. So not outside my comfort zone, but at least I am surrounding myself by humans. I don't know, just trying. So that's all I got, yappers. Thanks for the yap sesh. Hope you have a wonderful weekend and take it day by day, and you're doing your best. That's all you can do. Bye.